Good morning. Can you take your seats? If you are joining this event, can you take your seats? Okay. Good morning. My name is Khalid Al Tawil. I am the Senior Program Coordinator of the United Nations Food Systems Coordination Hub, and it's my honor to be your moderator for today. Apologies that we had to start a little bit later than expected, but one of the speakers is not yet with us. He's a bit delayed. So we decided to start, and this event will be about the Turkish experience in implementing the Convergence Initiative. 11 months ago, Turkey hosted the Food System Climate Action Convergence Initiative. This is an initiative launched by the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, and the main objective is to help countries in aligning their food system policies with their climate policies in order to support the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement goals. The main objective is to align also the national policies, the food system pathways, and the national adaptation plans and national determined contributions. And in fact, Turkey was the first country in Europe and Central Asia to implement this initiative, and the fourth in the world. So it was a very, very important experience. In December 2024, when we implemented the Conversion Initiative, we had many participants, not only from the government, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Environment, but also from the private sector and the academia. And for 3 days, with the support of FAO and the UN system, the resident coordinator himself was there, the UN agencies, the academia, the private sector. We worked together on the development of a national blueprint for food system transformation. And this national blueprint, which you can see online on the website of the Hub, is actually a roadmap, a national roadmap for the government of Turkey on how they align their national policies. It focuses on many objectives, including data, including financing, raising awareness, but also, which is very important, having a convergence governance structure that stretches from the highest level, from the most senior ministerial level, to the operation level at the executive level. And I am very glad also to report that FAO hosted the first meeting of the convergence group, which is functioning now. So today, our objective is to discuss this experience, this unique experience of Turkey, how Turkey can use this experience not only to accelerate the implementation of the SDGs and the Paris Agreement goals, but how Turkey, being also a very important regional player, can use the experience of the Convergence Initiative to share it with other countries in the world, in Central Asia, in other areas of the world. And in the Hub, we have implemented the Conversion Initiative in 20 countries, and each country has its own experience, but also there are many similarities. In the next few months, we'll be organizing regional meetings, and Turkey will also be positioned to share some of this experience with some countries in the region and beyond. So with this, I would like to introduce the panel that we have today, and also to thank the government of Turkey and FAO for co-organizing this event with the Food Systems Hub. So the panel is very diverse. We have the resident coordinator, we have representatives from FAO, but we have also representatives of the two main ministries, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Environment, who are co-leading this work. And we have also representatives from the private sector. And if you allow me, I would like first to go online to the resident coordinator in Turkey, Mr. Babutanda Awonsi, who is the UN resident coordinator in Turkey, who was there in the Convergence Initiative, who supported through his leadership of the UN country team the implementation of the blueprint. And I would like to go to you, sir, just to make sure first you are online and you can hear us.
I can hear you loud and clear, Khalid. Thank you.
Okay, very good. And we see you. And let me start with the first question, which is about the role of food system transformation in supporting the implementation of the SDGs. You are managing and coordinating all the UN activities in Turkey, supporting different objectives from poverty reduction to food security, to better nutrition, to labor improvement and social security. So I would like to ask you, how do you see the power of food system transformation in the national context and how it can be used to support the different SDGs, the 17 SDGs in Turkey? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Khalid, and warm greetings to all the participants in this important COP30 side event. I would like to respond to your question first by repeating the words of the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, who has repeatedly said, we cannot achieve the SDGs without transforming the way we produce, process, and consume food. So transformation of food systems is both for us, and as we see it in Turkey, an entry point and a multiplier for progress across the SDGs, from ending hunger to advancing health, improving education, equality, and climate resilience. And as you already indicated, Turkey's food system transformation pathway was launched following the Food System Summit in 2021, and it is integrated for us in the UN system. We have integrated this into the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework priorities for the next cycle, 2026 to 2030. And of course, the government led by the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry is advancing this agenda with the support of the United Nations, with an emphasis on inclusive participation, science-based policies, and resilient local economies. Our next cooperation framework really has priority areas that demonstrate, that seek to amplify these convergence efforts. And the priority areas include reducing food loss and waste, scaling sustainable and climate-smart agriculture, enhancing nutrition and food security, especially for vulnerable groups, and promoting rural livelihoods and innovation through digital and green technologies. So food system transformation advances multiple SDGs simultaneously. I think this is the point I want to make. So with SDG 1 on poverty and SDG 10 on inequality, for example, when we empower smallholders, women and young people with access to finance, markets, and skills, we inevitably reduce poverty and rural inequalities. It's critical to achieving SDGs 13 and 15 through the promotion of regenerative and nature-positive farming approaches that reduces emissions and restores ecosystems. And of course, we know that food system reforms is directly linked to healthier diets, combating obesity, and reducing non-communicable diseases. And with the emphasis in Turkey on promoting circular economy approaches and zero waste efforts, we see that circularity in production and consumption helps to generate jobs and economic resilience. So this transition towards a convergence approach to drive the sustainable development efforts of Turkey is important, it's urgent, and we must accelerate and amplify those efforts now if we are really to make progress against the triple planetary crisis. And the UN will continue, as I've already indicated, to really support this effort. In Turkey, our approach is well aligned. We're trying to ensure that food, climate, and nature policies are advanced in an integrated way as a model, not just for integration, but for also scaling impact at the national level. And you see this in the number and the diversity of UN agencies that are involved. Not just FAO. We have FAO, we have IFAD, WFP, UNDP, and of course WHO, working jointly to ensure policy coherence, facilitate resource mobilization, and bring global expertise to national priorities. So let me stop there. We are committed to building on the good work already done. Obviously, Turkey is a pioneer in these efforts, but one thing is to succeed, but you have to build on the success. And we are determined as the UN country team to continue to collaborate, co-travel with Turkey in this journey. Over.
Thank you so much, RC, and also thanks for highlighting this systemic approach for food system transformation, how to deal with food system in isolation, but in linkage to all the three dimensions of sustainable development, all the SDGs, and how food system transformation, if done in the correct way, can have good implications for all the SDGs, for people's life, for the environment, for biodiversity. This is why it is critical. And again, I would like to thank you again for your leadership. We'll continue to count on you and the UN country team in the next months when we continue this journey, joint journey in implementing the convergence blueprint. Okay, this also gives me a good opportunity to go to the next speaker. I would like to go to Elaf Pinal, who also is the senior mitigation expert. You were part of the convergence discussion. You are also a negotiator, so you are going from the policy perspective to the negotiation perspective. How you see the blueprint, how it is linked to the negotiations, your NDCs, and also your plans for national adaptation plans. Over to you.
Thank you, Khaled. Distinguished participant, dear colleagues, it's a great pleasure to be here today with you. As the Khaled mentioned, that Turkey considers the climate action not only as the environmental responsibility, but also comprehensive development priority to bring together economic, social, and ecological dimensions. With this approach, we are implementing integrated climate policy framework that covers mitigation, adaptation, finance, technology, and just transition. We aim to create total ecosystem for the climate governance. After becoming party to Paris Agreement, we announced our net zero target for 2053. And we update our first NDC. As an implementation tool, we prepared our climate change mitigation strategy and action plan, and also adaptation strategy and action plan. And then we complete our long-term strategy for to reach our net zero target. We already submit all documents to the Secretariat. And within this strong framework, the Convergence Initiative provides significant added value for the Turkey. The initiative provides the linkage between the food system and the climate agenda, and enhance our data sharing and the stakeholder engagement, and support inclusive science-based decision making. I mean, this approach, this platform facilitates our climate efforts on food system without compromising food security. Transforming the food system is essential for our mitigation strategy, all climate efforts. In this context, I just would like to mention briefly our climate journey. For this year, we already updated our first NDC, and we call second NDC 3.0. Before the COP30, we submit our second NDC. During this period, as a directorate, we are also the UNFCCC focal point and the coordinating body for all climate change issues. We develop our national GHG modeling framework. Before this preparation process, thankfully, Turkey served as a pilot country, and we create blueprint action plan, and also we have a group, working group for this issue. When we create our second NDC, and we are projection our mitigation targets, this platform provide us to reliable data and discuss on this issue with our relevant ministries and the stakeholders. And we express our appreciation to United Nations system and Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. This institution is the main responsible institution on the food system, food security and agriculture issue, and also FAO Turkey to their leadership and support. As a directorate, we are honored to be part of this journey, this platform as a stakeholder. The Convergence Initiative also accelerates implementation of Turkey's food system vision for our second NDC. Okay, we are just creating a set to our new NDC target, mitigation target. However, without implementation, it is not possible to reach our net zero target. And also, the Convergence Initiative plays a catalytic role in facilitating access to finance, enhance our implementation capacity building, and supporting transparent monitoring and reporting. This contribution helps to meet Turkey's international commitment more effectively on the climate change efforts. Furthermore, Convergence initiatives serve as a valuable platform for the collaboration and knowledge sharing, and this platform brings together climate, biodiversity, and sustainable development goals while fostering innovation, enhancing institutional cooperation, and enabling the countries learn from each other to their experience. I would like to mention during this year there is a negotiation topic mitigation work program, and the Secretariat always requests from the countries, the parties, to submit their best practices on the AFOLU, LULUCF and agriculture sector. The Convergence Initiative, one of the best practice for the Turkey, and we submit our work best practice to Secretariat, including the Convergence Initiative. Secretariat approved this submission, and this year Secretariat chose the forest to discuss during the negotiations. That's why they're proudly and honored to be part of this initiative. And we would like to work with our partners on this important global efforts with our ministries, with FAO Turkey and United Nations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elif, and you very well explained the spirit of the Conversion Initiative. It is not meant as a document, but as a way of supporting the integration of policies. And I think you are very well positioned to see how useful it is for the negotiation, but also for the implementation of national policies. And you mentioned the national pathway, you mentioned the national mitigation strategy and national adaptation plans. So this is very important, and we are very glad also to know that you are reporting this in line with your engagement in the UNFCCC. So this gives me a good opportunity to go to our next speaker, who is Tulgan Batial, who is the head of International Organization Department in the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. And the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry is the lead in food system transformation. You have your national pathway, which is very advanced, but you will also, through the national convener, you were part of the discussions in Istanbul last year. So the blueprint that is published and this national document for Turkey, how do you see its usefulness for the internal food systems transformation strategies, and what are the main ideas that you would like to share with everyone?
Okay, thank you, Khalid, for this important question. First of all, I would like to apologize that I'm late because there was a huge traffic congestion, and I believe there was an accident or something, so sorry for that again. And actually, as you have mentioned, the Turkey's Convergence Initiative process is a natural continuation of the national pathway. Yeah, national pathway for the food systems transformation that we have prepared in 2021. At that time, we set forth our vision for establishing sustainable, fair and resilient food systems by 2030. That was our goal. This roadmap laid the foundation for a holistic approach that not only addresses production but also integrates the environmental, energy, water and social policies. Since then, Turkey has taken many concrete steps to realize this vision. We established the Department of Food Supply and Security, strengthened our pesticide residue monitoring system, and enabled direct communication with the consumers on food safety through ALO 174 food hotline. That's an hotline for to allow people to alert the ministry whatever is going on with the or either the establishments of food establishments or even the restaurants. And through the Save Your Food campaign, we raised nationwide awareness for food loss and waste. With the agricultural production planning model, we now plan agricultural production based on supply-demand balance and water resources. To protect water resources, which is one of the agriculture's essential inputs, we have launched a national water efficiency campaign led by the First Lady, Her Excellency Ms. Emine Erdoğan, which involves not only the agricultural sector but also households and all the relevant sectors. In addition, we have empowered producers through training programs for women farmers, IPART supports, and rural development projects. Women and youth in the rural is a main concern of us. We always trying to be in favor of them. Those efforts have created strong impacts not only at the national level but also regionally. Through the FAO Turkey Partnership Program on Food and Agriculture, which we call FTPP, and the FAO Turkey Partnership Program, Forestry Partnership Program, FTFP, we have been implementing close collaborations with countries in Central Asia, Caucasus, and Near East on food security, biodiversity, forestry, and rural development. The regional experience that we have gained through these programs has provided a solid foundation for us in the Convergence Initiative process. However, we also realized one crucial point. Transforming food systems alone is not enough. For this transformation to be lasting and effective, it must be integrated with climate action. Convergence Initiative was born precisely out of this need. Turkey joined this process as one of the first pilot countries, as my colleague has mentioned before, alongside Brazil, Indonesia, and Kazakhstan. Under the coordination of Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, we took our first step with the National Inception Workshop held in December 2024. This meeting brought together representatives from public institutions, UN organizations, private sectors, academia, and so on. Two important outcomes emerged from this process. First, we have developed the Convergence Blueprint, as you have mentioned, a document that aligns food systems transformation with national climate objectives. Second, we established the National Convergence Group to ensure the sustainability of the process. For us, the blueprint is not just a plan, it represents a new model of governance. It brings together policies on agriculture, water, energy, environment, and land use within a single framework. This has strengthened interministerial policy coherence, accelerated data sharing, and helped identify gaps in our monitoring and evaluation systems. We are also accelerating efforts to align our indicators with the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement targets. I would like to particularly highlight the contribution of our presidency of climate change, which has provided essential support in defining climate indicators, integrating national reporting processes, and identifying common objectives. This collaboration has been one of the key elements in enhancing national policy coherence. At this stage, the principle of the Convergence Initiative will also be integrated into our 13th National Development Plan. So the food and climate policies are now at the heart of our national development agenda. In short, the Convergence Initiative is not merely a project for Turkey, it's a vision for transformation. Through this initiative, Turkey has moved from sectoral planning to holistic transformation, integrating food systems, policies with climate action. We see this transformation not only as a national effort, but also a shared learning and cooperation process with our region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and really inspiring. Really inspiring to listen to you about the process also of leading to the finalization of the blueprint. And I think even the terminologies that you are using, referring to what is happening in other ministries, speaking about climate change, speaking about water scarcity, which is very important in the region, is very important. I also appreciate what you refer to about the integration of the national food system pathways into the national policies, which is something that we always advocate for, how to make sure that it is not dealt with in isolation, but being integrated into national policies. We also welcome the regional approach that you mentioned about working with other countries in Central Asia and the Near East. So thank you for this. Now we wanted this panel not to be only about government, not only about the UN, but also to engage the private sector. The private sector is the main executor of food system transformation. They are the one producing food, making sure that everyone is fed, but also everyone is fed in a sustainable way, which is very challenging and very tricky issue. So today we have with us Ms. Nihal Aisa Moltebe, who is the Secretary General of the Federation of Food and Drink Industry. And I would like to ask you about the Convergence Initiative in Turkey. How do you see the Convergence Initiative? How does it support the private sector in its engagement? And how are you also incorporating sustainability aspect into your investment policies? Over to you.
Thank you, dear colleagues, distinguished participants. It's a pleasure to address you today at this important session focusing on the integrated approach between food systems transformation and climate action in Turkey. First of all, I would like to thank all organizers and participants who contributed to the preparation of this event. Turkey's food and beverage industry, given its economic scale and its comprehensive integration across the entire value chain, is one of the most critical stakeholders in the transformation envisioned under the CI. At TGDF, we believe that the private sector is not merely a participant in this initiative, but the primary driver of implementation, scaling, and innovation. For this reason, we review CI as a guiding and enabling platform that aligns ongoing sectoral efforts on sustainability and climate adaptation with national policies within the coherent and actionable framework. It's important to highlight that the majority of Turkey's food value chain is shaped and operated by the private sector. TGDF members, active across a broad spectrum ranging from dairy and meat to beverages, bakery process, and exports, are the actors assuming the highest level of responsibility in building an inclusive, resilient, and low-carbon food system. In this respect, the private sector represents the practical counterpart of CI's objective of policy integration and implementation as the real-world effectiveness of climate strategies, food systems transformation, and sustainability principles depends fundamentally on the capacity, compliance, and innovation readiness of the enterprises managing the value chain. Many TGDF members have already made substantial investments in areas such as carbon footprint measurements, energy efficiency programs, circular economy practices, sustainable raw material sourcing, and digital traceability systems. Therefore, the CI is strongly aligned with the sector's existing efforts. What further strengthens this alignment is CI's national coordination and target setting mechanism. By providing a unified framework, this mechanism ensures that activities undertaken by the private sector converge with the national food system roadmap and this targets climate strategies and adaptation plans, generating more effective and measurable outcomes. Turkey's strong export capacity further elevates the strategic importance of the private sector's sustainability agenda. Global markets are increasingly shaped by green transition requirements, carbon regulations, and sustainable supply chain criteria. In this respect, CI offers an important opportunity to enhance the international competitiveness of Turkey's food and beverage industry, particularly in the context of the EU Green Deal, sustainable product standards and digital product passports. The sector acknowledges that the policies developed under CI are highly valuable for ensuring alignment with international frameworks. A further positive assessment by the private sector releases the CI's multi-stakeholder governance and collaboration opportunities. TGDF considers the Convergence Group to be a critical mechanism that enables regular dialogue between public institutions, the UN, SIM, and the private sector. In conclusion, the private sector views by the Convergence Initiative as a strategic vehicle for accelerating climate-oriented transformation, enhancing policy alignment, safeguarding international competitiveness, and strengthening multi-stakeholder collaboration. TGTF remains committed to expanding this holistic perspective across the sector, scaling up best practices, and maximizing the private sector's contribution to Turkey's food system transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and also very concise and focused intervention on the role of the private sector, which is very instrumental in food system transformation. But also I think it is appreciated what you refer to about how you incorporate circular economy, a carbon footprint into your strategies. This is very important, and also your linkage to the integration of Turkey into other economic blocks, and how important to incorporate sustainability aspect in this dimension. So thank you for this. And now I would like to go to a colleague of mine, Asigel Silsik, who is the Assistant FAO representative. Asigel, you not only came to the workshop and supported the work, but also your team was there, and the FAO was very instrumental in the follow-up by hosting the first meeting of the Convergence group. So FAO is not only about the convergence, you are addressing agri-food system transformation in Turkey. How you see the convergence as a way of supporting your efforts, and how are you going to support, as part of the UN country team, the implementation of the blueprint? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Khaled, and thank you very much all participants, colleagues actually being with us. And also I would like to thank Yan RC and also the RC office and Yan Hub for supporting us during this process, because without your support we cannot be the first one maybe submitting our report. But of course FAO Turkey is the one actually being the facilitator, technical supporter and connector among all all partners, especially bringing institutions together, helping translating the national priorities into the integrated approach that brings food system transformation and climate action into a single frame. This is what we have done so far. And of course, from very beginning, we work together with the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, as they are the national convener. They explain everything very well, and Ministry of course, Environment Organization regarding the climate change part for the convener initiative. So this is now the time for us to continue on this pathway. You already mentioned how we provided our support during the first National Reception Workshop in Istanbul in December. We coordinated together, of course, including academia and private sector, and as Nihal mentioned about the private sector's objective, which is very important to transform food system in Turkey through their ongoing activities following the national food pathway. Therefore, as integrating this pathway into the convergence action through the convergence action blueprint. These are the actually deliverables from our parts after the workshop, which is the most important one. So at the end of the workshop in December, we have one output, convergence action blueprint, and also we established the convergence group to follow up the points already put in this action plan. It's a national multi-stakeholder governance mechanism, and we also, as FAO, we are coordinating and together with the Minister of Agriculture. So FAO's role at the end was to support the analysis behind the blueprint and help facilitate consensus among institutions. We helped identify where existing food system priorities. Regarding how we will continue, actually your question, then, but let's first talk about what was the challenges. I mean, when we bring all these partners together, although you know you were with us, just to inform everyone, climate change is a big subject. Under it, there are many subtopics like water scarcity, food loss and waste reduction, digital agriculture, value chain, strengthening of value chain, nutrition. They were all discussed and put it as a priority. Then these are also the priorities aligned with national climate strategies and its NDCs. These are also and the national adaptation planning process. Of course, the main challenge already mentioned by Elif Hanım, it is financing of all this, how to finance all these priorities on our process, on our way. So also we learned that from our lessons, let's say, Turkey already has strong foundations, as you mentioned. So this is also important. We have many policies. We have already certain direction, and Convergence Initiative simply brought these efforts together and unified national model. Therefore, it will be, we can call this model as an inclusive governance model. I think this is the important one. So then maybe how should I continue through this establishment of the convergence group from the ministry, from the private sector, from the academia and UN agencies. We hold joint discussions as a follow-up after the December meeting in 2024. In 2025, we had a technical meeting. We had regular communications, and as you said, we have a huge group behind of this panel even, and therefore we want to share our experience with other countries. And we, through this trust and through this regular dialogue, clear communication, we also identified several priority areas where convergence process has to be followed, especially on the financing part. And of course, these are still under the discussion that we are working on it. And this group is exchanging, and we are happy to moderate, we are happy to provide technical support, but at the end, what is the focus part? As FAO, we are at this coordination level and conveying the messages among the parties, but also we are providing technical analysis. We are doing the facilitation, but through the UNRC office, thanks to also RC office colleagues, they also provide support us a lot, and ensuring UN system wide engagement into this discussion process and supporting government leadership at every stage. And I think these are our key lessons we learned, but how we will move ahead together after this COP30, from the learnings, from the objectives, achievements which will be put by the member countries, including Turkey, then prioritization will be discussed probably once again, but involvement of private sector, involvement of other necessary institutions into the action plan will be initiated or through different mechanism, including political mechanism, including maybe direct implementation modality. These are going to be discussed all together. This is not easy process that I want to share as a, let's say, facilitator. Even we have a huge UN system behind of us. We are strong. Also, government of Turkey, they are really strong because they have many policy tools already initiated. Climate change action plan, climate change strategy are there, and they have a strong target for 2050. But food system transformation itself is not easy. It's requiring involvement of many parties, and therefore we need to work together to contribute to SDGs. This is also, I think, our motivation. I don't want to say challenge, but I think it's our motivation to work all together. Then hopefully we'll achieve the tangible result and for tangible benefits for national planning, for the SDG planning and SDG progress, especially on the Convergence Initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Asigil, and thanks for also explaining not only what was done, but what you are intending to do in the next months in working with the government, with the private sector, with the civil society. The blueprint is a living document, and it is a roadmap that is implemented over many years, and it has a very important and very inspiring vision that does not only focus on the current generations, but ensuring continuity, bringing the sustainability aspect, the productivity aspect, and the role of the UN country team and the FAO are crucial in supporting this. So with this, unfortunately, we come to the end of our time, but I would like to thank all the speakers online and in person. This was very interesting discussion. I would like just to share some of what I heard as key messages. One, food system transformation is really one of the underutilized entry point for achieving the SDGs. Okay, we have a question before we finish. Okay, over to you. I cannot say no to you.
No, I am coming from Peru, from rural area. I want to know what is the role of rural women in your program, in the system, please.
Okay. Okay, so it is a very important question because I wanted to share with you that we are coming to Peru on the 14th and 15th of January. We are going to implement the Convergence Initiative in Peru. Actually, might be the first time we announce this. And this will be a work with the government, but also with all stakeholders. So civil society, rural women are at the center of this, private sector and other stakeholders. And soon we'll be reaching out to the national convener to encourage him to engage everyone. So your participation will be crucial. In Turkey, there were many civil society organizations that pushed for important aspects. We wanted the document not to be only a government document, but an inclusive document. So this is what we will be implementing in other countries, including Peru. Thank you. So to conclude and not to keep you waiting, food system transformation is really one of the most important entry points for the acceleration of the SDGs. This is something that we advocate for, and I think the case of Turkey was a very good example of using food systems as entry for the SDGs and the climate action. Second, Turkey, the experience in Turkey is very important for also neighboring countries. And in the regional meeting coming in few months, we'll be presenting the case of Turkey and other countries as good examples of and food for thought for inspiration. The private sector role is important. We are working with many stakeholders, and the key area here is a balancing act. How to make the environment conducive for private sector engagement, but also how to encourage the private sector to contribute positively to health, nutrition, climate, and social equity. These are very, very important entry points. The UN system in Turkey is working at one, and I think this is a good inspiration for other countries. The RC, FAO, WFP, and other organizations are encouraged to work together. The Food System Hub will be supporting in the next steps. I would like to conclude by thanking all of you, the participants, but I would like also to acknowledge some of the key players that were supporting this event, but they are not with us. I would like to acknowledge Burak, if you are hearing us. Thank you so much for your work, and also Burak from the FAO office in Turkey, but also Michelle and Caroline from the Food System Hub, who supported the organization of this event. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello everyone. This is Gözde Koygun. I am from Turkey. I'm the scientist and the founder of the hexagraphene nanotechnology company. We developed some technology, and with this technology we also use the plastic waste material according to the carbon capture system to develop the asphalt additive materials. Today we will be representing you our project, about how we apply this project as a pilot project in Konya, Turkey. And to do this project, actually our supporter was Konya municipality and also Minister of Environment, and also we had another partner which is called Dallata Consulting Group, and also the hexagraphene is the leader of this project. So I would like to introduce you to Mr. Dr. Serdar, who is coming from Konya municipality. He is the Department of the Climate Change and Zero Waste manager. So we can listen you, dear.
Thank you, Dr. Gözde. I am Serdar Koyuncu. I am from Konya City. Konya City in Turkey. I would like to thank Ministry of Environmental Urbanization and Climate Change and Directorate of Climate Change for organizing this session. Today we will information about our innovative graphene added asphalt road project. This project makes roads more resilient and adaptation to climate change. It reduces emission and improves asphalt quality, and it also improves environmental factors. By using graphene, which is abundant by species, synthetic plastic waste with carbon capture technology, we produce sustainable solutions in the field of road construction and transform our perspective on infrastructure. This is project for our imported. This is project first in Turkey first and in world first. Traditional asphalt production and paving methods lead to numerous environmental problems, including toxic gases, air and noise pollution, and high energy consumption. To address these issues, reduce environmental impacts and reduce carbon emissions, we developed the innovative graphene reinforced asphalt route pilot project. We have completed both laboratory and real scala pilot project implementation of the project. Dr. Gözde Koygun, who holds the intellectual property rights and patent for the synthesized graphene, will explain the project's technical details and process. Dr. Gözde.
Thank you, Dr. Serdar. I will be keep moving on to give you a little bit details of our project. Actually, how we come up this project, we think that asphalt is one of the biggest sector which has giving like carbon emission. So to reducing carbon emission system, and we try to create some model to reduce the CO2 inside of the asphalt. But besides this one, when we applied our chemical to the asphalt as an additive, we saw that asphalt also affect the bitumen as a rheologically, which make it more sensitive, and which makes it like air noise. It reduced air noise pollution. So according to this one, I would like to our purpose to demonstrate the measurable climate performance and economic benefits of the graphene enhanced asphalt within the sustainable road infrastructure model. To aim that it covers the customs, graphene synthesis, factory and laboratory validation, pilot scales, field application, emission and energy performance analysis, also life cycle analysis. We also calculate the cost assessment and carbon credit integrations aligned with the international certification standards. We have been done all of these processes actually in like 3 years with the pilot project. As you see in the left side, it is the sample of our pilot project's picture. While we are applying, you cannot see any fuming or any emission going on. Usually when you apply the asphalt technology, you guys see the fuming over there. How we create this, how we develop this material. This is the carbon capture system over here, this one, and with this one we integrate like 80% pool of CO2, and also we use the plastic materials in the as a raw material. After some mechanical processes, we don't use any water, any chemical, nothing. After that, we get our graphene nanoplatelets. So this material, this waste plastic material, become a useful and valuable material to use as a nano particles inside of the asphalt technology, which is reduced CO2. So our project is it's not just the only material project. Our process is also valuable, and it affects to the environment to make it more eco-friendly. So I just want you to I am not gonna put bunch of technical stuff. I just want to make it so short and clear, effective, summarize. So what we did until now, we had our primarily evolution shows that graphene enhanced asphalt meets and exceeds internationally recognized by the sustainable road certification criteria. To underline and to set up these sustainable criteria, we had to look for some steps one of them was performance and longevity. Our project, when we added the graphene, it affects the road lifespan increased like 30 to 50%, and also its maintenance frequently significantly decrease the road, and also total life cycle cost reduced too. This is very important actually. Another one, fuel saving emission reduction. We saw that like almost 500 liters of the fuel saved per day per kilometer of the road. And also, according to our calculation, like 420 tons of the CO2 avoided annually, and annual reactions calibrated by the using 25 years lifespan and 5,000 vehicles per day. Which is very meaningful, and the road that we develop our pilot project, it is all like heavy vehicles road. We actually especially we choose this road to be see how strong our graphene road, and in a like circular economical contribution also it is affected. And as a next stage, our project's another side effect is noise and air quality benefits, which is like lower the noise pollution, improve air quality, healthcare cost saving, and approximately it is like $1.20 million over the 25 years. And also when we look at the another side of the benefits of this project, it is also bringing us some carbon financial model, and also when we look up the global market interest, right now we have partnered with Japan, Canada, Qatar, Kuwait, Venezuela, Taiwan, and Saudi Arabia. We already shown interested and positions of the Turkey as a competitive global supplier in sustainable road technologies. Actually, our projects open another new door for the sustainability funding in the transportation area, because right now they don't really have unique and specific projects for this sector, but they have financial and funding. So we are kind of advantageous to reach these green fundings all around the world too. And our methodology, it includes like rheologically, mechanical, emission, energy, safety, environmental life cycle, carbon, circular economy, and etc. Like I just want to put some title of them, but in a deeply we have like over 1,800 different calculation and methodology we have been used until now in 3 days. And according to our results, as a shortly, our pilot project significancy, this pilot project demonstrates Turkey's two ability, which is like reducing environmental impacts, increase energy efficiency, lower the CO2 emission, improve road performance and safety, and also create new renewable mechanism through the carbon markets. It's aligned the road instruction with TABAC, EU, and also Japan complement certification pathways, so which is going to create our project all over the world accepted by the sustainable certification issues. So this is me. This is one of the picture that we took some picture of the road in our pilot project. So actually it is effective calculation here. When you apply this graphene in the road for 1 kilometer, per daily 5,000 vehicles, just go through the road. And also for 25 years project life and CO2 factor, it is like 2.31 kilogram per liter of the fuels. And also it is brings you carbon pricing in like tons of $45 per ton. These are the another effective sides of our project actually. And as you see, I want you to show you the real side of our project. And the left side that you guys are seeing it is traditional asphalt that we applied it in same day as a control group. But on the left side, this is the carbon, graphene edit one. So it's, as you see by your eyes, it is more affected in here too, because like there is no damaging, and it is just so smooth. And it is like after 1 year later we took this pictures, but still it has been 2 years, and still it seems very good and smooth. But the other part of the road, as a like control group, it is already damaged. And according to like all these pilot project results, the graphene design delivered the maximum mechanical strength, zero emission performance, and super surface safety, full meeting modern sustainable road criteria. So air pollution reduction, waste material use, energy efficiency, low temperature production, zero emission performance, high mechanical strength, and surface safety. These are the all things that I just make it short in this presentation. Thank you for listening. Right now I am gonna switch the microphone to Mr. Dr. Ekram. He's going to talk about deeply more financial model of our project and how it affects the CO2 trading system, how our project reduced the emission, and more details. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Gozda, for this brief introduction. What I'm going to focus on, the economic value of this project. Before I mention this, I want to mention how we calculate economic value. At this stage, there is a new trend happening into the sustainable business. Looking into the sustainable business from the beginning, during, and after it's done. An example of that, let's say solar field. Solar field, when we calculate it, we start to calculate how the solar panels been created. And is it in a green way or not? During, which that will be during the process of the solar field. At the end, after the solar field finish or the lifespan of the panels, then how it's going to be waste as a waste material, how it will work through that. Up to this time, there is only a few projects in the world or a few concepts. They reach green into the 3 stages into the sustainable business. The graphene road or the graphene technology is one of them. Because when we create the graphene, actually we create it from waste plastic and CO2. So that's a green positive. During the project, which Dr. Gozda mentioned, many factors from reduction of noise, reduction of CO2, reduction of fuel energy, maintenance cost, all that stuff, that comes also in the whole green process with it. When the asphalt road after 7 years, 10 years, whatever, need to be replaced, even during the waste management part of it, that we can recover 70% of the road, waste road, to reuse it again, once again, into different road or so, and the 30% left, we can use it in a landfill. So that gives us complete circle, green circle economy into that. Why this is important? This is important right now because starting from 2026, CO2 is not going to be equal. CO2 created by solar had a different price than CO2 created by wind, had different price than created by trees. So they are going to take in consideration how the CO2 been created or how they've been inspected in the beginning. In the other fields, like solar, for example, solar actually you have to, in the beginning to create the solar panels, you have to exert so much energy that make it in the red. So the price of it much cheaper it will become. Where in this particular case or this new technology or since it meet the three criteria of a green, on the next couple of years we are going to see the price of it. It will become 150 to 200% more than the regular CO2 prices, which is that make it more economic even for companies to work with and government to work through this issue or so. When we took in consideration calculating the CO2, we took it from the beginning. The waste plastic, the CO2 is generated, even the energy working through normal asphalt usually it's about 160 degrees. They were able to reduce the energy to 140 degrees. I think through that, the lifespan almost double. The maintenance cost almost by 70% less. The direct effect even on the vehicles, the consumption of oil, the consumption of diesel. One of the very interesting side fact we found, the roads had next to farmland, we noticed increase of production of milk in cows by 4%. More agriculture production, healthier agriculture production through the process. We've been studying and calculating this now for over a year and a half through these issues or so. So the effect is enormous into them. One important factor for government, the health factor on this road reduced the government bill for health residents in that area by almost 27%. So the factor for this issue is tremendously important for it. So when we are looking into the economic value for this road or so, yes, in the beginning it's a little bit higher to apply, but when you work it out into during the years this road work through, within like about 2 years, 2.5 years, the road will pay for itself. And the rest of that will become actually positive cash flow to the government or to the municipality they are using the road. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Ekrem. Actually, I have a quick question that maybe you can, explain it to make it more clear our presentation. What category or level our CO2 will?
Excellent question. Okay, as of January 1st, 2026, now the new laws or the new guideline for CO2 will become into 7 different guidelines, starting the best from 1, the lowest will be 7. All of them CO2 credit. However, they are not going to be treated normally as equal. For example, when the EU now they want to exchange CO2, they have to exchange it from level 4 and above. So level 5, 6 is not acceptable for them. The price of it will become also different from each one of them or so. This type of project, since it's meet green before, during, and after, it categorized in level 1 CO2, which that make it one of the highest. At this stage, there is only 2 projects around the world have this high level of category.
So you mean that our project's CO2 is higher than the rest of it?
Absolutely. That's of course the highest because of the category, highest the category, then that affect directly into the price. Where a price from, let's say for example, from solar now, which we are doing several solar projects, it comes around between $17, $18 to $25 per ton per year or so. This project will be able to do between $45 to $60 per ton because it meets again the 3 criteria: green.
Okay, and economically life cycle.
The economic life cycle, yes.
Okay, thank you so much for everything. Do you guys have any question that you wanna ask? Okay.
Thank you very much for the presentations and for this innovative solution that you are presenting. I just have a question on the capacity of the production at this stage with this technology. It's like, how much is the capacity now, or how high can the capacity be in terms of generating, converting waste, plastic waste into graphene?
Yes, thank you for the question, Dr. Malik. Actually, the one that you guys are seeing right now, it is 2 tons per day. But I started in the laboratory with just only 50 grams of the graphene with the carbon capture system. But also right now we are, scale up again. We have been done to develop 200 tons per day to produce our material, hopefully, because we are all using waste material to develop this additive.
Let me just kind of comment a little bit into that. This type of technology, it's very easy scalable. You can go 20 tons, 50 tons, 100 tons, 200 tons through that. The innovative design of this technology make it so easy to scale up or down. The issue is important that when you're producing 200 tons or 20 tons, the 20 tons you are using it as an additive to the asphalt. It's not the asphalt itself.
True.
So when you add it to the asphalt by, let's say, 5% or so, you can actually use few tons of asphalt. It will allow you to pave 10 kilometers, 15, 30 kilometers or so.
Okay, great. That's good to know. The other thing is, like, in terms of the used plastics, are there any types of plastics that are excluded, or any type of plastic you can?
There is some type of the plastic that we are choosing as a chemical, properties. We know which one we need to use.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Any question? Okay. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate.
Saygıdeğer katılımcılar, hepinize hoş geldiniz diliyorum. 2053 net sıfır hedefine giden yolda binalar konulu panelinize tekrar hoş geldiniz. Panelimizi yönetmek üzere Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Çevre Şehircilik ve İklim Değişikliği Bakanlığı Mesleki Hizmetler Genel Müdürümüz Sayın Banu Aslan'ı sahneye davet ediyorum. Buyurun efendim. Panelistlerimiz sırasıyla Sayın Ley, Sayın Topçu ve Sayın Polat'ı da sahneye davet ediyorum.
Yardım edeyim mi?
Saygıdeğer katılımcılar, değerli konuklar, 2053 net sıfır hedefine giden yolda binalar konulu panelimize hoş geldiniz. Ben Banu Aslan, Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Çevre Şehircilik İklim Değişikliği Bakanlığı'nda genel müdür olarak görev yapıyorum. Genel müdürlük olarak binalarda enerji verimliliği, binalardan kaynaklı emisyonların azaltılması konularında mevzuat, teknik şartnameler ve standartlar düzenlemeler üzerine çalışmalar yapmaktayız. Yani bizim genel müdürlüğümüzün, bakanlığımızın çalıştığı konular bugünkü panel konusuyla çok ilişkili. Bu oturuma moderatörlük yapmaktan duyduğum memnuniyeti de belirtmek istiyorum. 2053 net sıfır hedefine giden yolda binalar konulu panelimizin panelistlerini sizlere tanıştırmak ve panelimizi de başlatmak istiyorum. Birinci konuğumuz Sayın Hong Ping Lei. İlk panelistimiz Birleşmiş Milletler Çevre Programı UNEP İklim Değişikliği Bölümünün azaltma şube başkanı olarak görev yapmakta. Bu görevinden önce de enerji, şehir ve çevre alanlarında önemli görevler üstlenmiş. Çocuk Yatırım Fonu Vakfı Küresel İklim Direktörü, Dünya Kaynakları Enstitüsü Çin Enerji Programı Direktörü, Çin'de iklim ve enerji lideri olarak çalışmış. Ayrıca çeşitli enerji dönüşümü kuruluşlarında yönetim ve danışma görevlerinde bulunmuştur. Bugün bizlerle sürdürülebilir kamu alımları gibi stratejik politika kaldıraçları ile bina sektörünün karbonsuzlaştırma ve dirençlilik yolundaki ilerlemesine küresel bir bakış açısı sunacaktır. Evet Sayın Ley, değerli katkılarınız için şimdiden teşekkür ediyorum ve sözü size bırakıyorum.
Thank you so much, Madam DG. It's my great pleasure to be here to join the activity in our beautiful Turkey pavilion. Thank you so much for inviting us. I particularly want to thank Turkey's Ministry of Environmental Urbanization and Climate Change for hosting this event. The building and the construction sector is a major climate opportunity. The building and construction sector accounts for over 1/3 of global energy-related CO2 emissions, about 32% of global energy demand, and 1/3 of global waste. This sector is facing increasing risks from heat stress to floods and storms. On one hand, most buildings standing today will still be in use by 2070, but under very different climate conditions. On the other hand, half of the 2060 building stock yet to be built, equivalent to adding Japan every year in floor area. 80% of this growth by 2050 will occur in developing countries, many of which lack the robust and building and energy codes. Clearly, choices we make today will be decisive for our planet's future. Buildings offer fastest, most cost-effective climate mitigation pathway through energy efficiency, electrification, material circularity, and embedding low-emission, climate-resilient design from the outside can achieve deep emission reductions while improving well-being, creating jobs, and driving inclusive economic growth. Sustainable public procurement is a powerful lever to drive demand for low-emission and resilient buildings, enabling governments to lead by example and catalyze change. We at UNEP has been working to galvanize the global momentum on the built environment. UNEP has been hosting the secretariat of the Global Alliance for Buildings and Construction, we call Global ABC, since COP21. It's a leading global platform uniting governments, industry, and experts, driving collaboration and coordinating action towards the sectoral goals. Launched at COP28 and coordinated by Global BC, Buildings Breakthrough, now supported by 29 forerunner countries, the European Commission, and other over 30 global partners. We've been advancing action through 5 systematic enablers: standards and certifications, demand creation, finance and investment, research and deployment, capacity building, and skills. UNEP 10 YFP Secretariat leads demand creation and work stream, operationalized by Global Framework for Action, harnessing sustainable and circular public procurement to drive demand for a near zero emission and resilient built environment. Member state endorsement of framework shows recognition of the sustainable public procurement as a demand-driven policy tool for transforming the market. So coordinated by UNEP and France in Paris,
in 2024. The first Buildings and Climate Global Forum led the Declaration de Chanlot, endorsed by over 60 countries, a landmark commitment to collective action for the sector. So COP30 marks a critical milestone. The first ministerial on buildings is a turning point, showing how high-level commitments are translated into policy and implementation strategies. So UNEP thanks Turkey for the strong cooperation for transformation of the sector. Turkey's Ministry of Environment and Urbanization Climate Change is a committed partner, active member of the Building Breakthrough, a signatory of the Declaration de Chanlot. Lately participated in a UNEP-organized capacity building workshop on sustainable public procurement, which gathered over 30 experts in 12 countries. Turkey's regional leadership on sustainable public procurement was particularly highlighted. Turkey's building sector roadmap, developed jointly with UNEP, Global ABC, and the World Resources Institute, outlines comprehensive strategies to reduce emissions across the entire building life cycle, aligned with countries' climate targets. Local leadership, demonstrated through subnational action plans, including one for the city of Konya, translates national goals into local action through new construction and deep retrofit projects. UNEP encourages Turkey to go even further. We invite Turkey and other member states to endorse the 5 common principles of the global framework for action, to work to implement through aligning policies, embedding sustainability and circularity in procurement decisions. UNEP also invites Turkey to join over 60 countries to become an official member of the Intergovernmental Council for Buildings and Climate. Ultimately, it's clear that building sector is central to both mitigation and adaptation, a source of economic growth, well-being, and resilience. No one actor can achieve this transformation of how we design, build, and operate our buildings. Collaboration across governments, industry, finance, and civil society is essential to scale solutions. Turkey's leadership have demonstrated that progress is possible through strong policy, partnership, and practice. UNEP, through Global ABC and the 10 YFP Secretariat and partners, are supporting countries to turn commitments into tangible outcomes. At this COP of implementation, UNEP calls on all countries to join our initiative to translate political will into action, develop or update national and subnational roadmaps, align finance, codes, and skills with sectoral goals to make a sustainable and resilient building accessible, affordable, and attractive for all. Thank you very much.
Sunumunuz için teşekkür ediyoruz. Katılım davetleriniz ve bu noktadaki teşvikler için de tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. İkinci panelistimiz Sayın Erdoğan Topçu. Türkiye Cumhuriyeti İller Bankası Genel Müdür Yardımcısı olarak görev yapmakta Sayın Topçu. İnşaat mühendisi olarak girdiği İlbank'ta önemli üst düzey görevler yürütmektedir. Ülkemizdeki yerel yönetimlere finansman ve teknik destek sağlayan İlbank, geliştirdiği ve uyguladığı projelerde enerji verimliliğini ön planda tutmakta ve enerji verimliliği projelerini desteklemekte, aynı zamanda bu konuda da bir farkındalık oluşturmaktadır. Sayın Topçu'nun enerji verimliliği ve sıfır emisyon alanlarında gerçekleştirilen faaliyetlerle ilgili bilgi vermesini istirham edeceğiz. Söz sizde.
Teşekkür ediyorum Sayın Başkan. Kıymetli katılımcılar, hoş geldiniz. Herkese merhaba diyorum. Öncelikle İller Bankası hakkında kısa bir açıklama yapmak istiyorum. Bankamız Türkiye Cumhuriyeti'nin genç yıllarında Gazi Mustafa Kemal Atatürk tarafından 1933 yılında kurulmuş olup o günden bugüne kadar güçlenerek, teknik kapasitesini artırarak hizmetlerine devam etmektedir. Ülkemizde 81 ilin bütün bağlı olan belediyelerinde, köylerine tümünün her türlü altyapı, üst yapı ihtiyaçlarına cevap verecek şekilde teknik ve mali destek sağlamaktadır. Bu nedenle dünyada bakıldığı zaman İller Bankası gibi bir kalkınma yatırım bankasına benzer bir kurum bulamadık, öyle söyleyebiliriz. Yani Dünya Bankası var, Avrupa Yatırım Bankası var, değişik kalkınma bankaları var, ancak İller Bankası direkt kendisi belediyelere hem teknik destek sağlıyor hem finansman, yani sağladığı finansmanla işlerin ihalelerini yapıyor, projelerini geliştiriyor, sonra inşaatını tamamlayarak belediyelere devrediyor. Yani bütün sürecini İller Bankası kendisi, kendi elemanlarıyla yönetiyor. Bununla birlikte son belki 20-25 yıldır da dünyadaki gelişmiş ülkelerdeki kalkınma yatırım bankalarıyla birlikte de birçok finansmana aracılık ediyor yerel yönetimlere karşı. Bunlarla birlikte daha büyük kapasiteli altyapı tesislerin gerçekleştirmesini sağlıyor. Bu açıklamaları yaptıktan sonra bankamızın sektörel olarak yaptığı işlerle ilgili enerji verimliliğinde ne tür gelişmeleri takip ettiğimizi anlatmak istiyorum. Öncelikle şehirlerin, yerleşimlerin güzelleşmesi için yaptığımız bisiklet yolları var, yürüyüş yolları, sokak salkılaştırma projeleri geliştiriyoruz, cephe iyileştirme projeleri geliştiriyoruz. Bunları yaparken tabii ki aydınlatma kullanılıyor, özellikle bisiklet yollarında. Bu aydınlatmalarda özellikle LED aydınlatma kullanarak daha %70'e varan enerji tasarrufu sağlanıyor. Bundan sonra diğer bir sektöre geçecek olursak, asıl bizim bankanın belediyeler için yaptığı altyapı sektörü en önemli sektör. İşte içme suyu şebekeleri yapıyoruz, atık su şebekeleri yapıyoruz, atık su arıtma tesisi, içme suyu arıtma tesisleri yapıyoruz. En çok enerji harcanan tesisler aslında bunlar. Dolayısıyla sırasıyla bakacak olursak bir içme suyu tesisi gerçekleştirirken bir belediyenin su kaynağından alarak, yani bir kaptaj yapısı yaparak ishale hattıyla şehrin en üst noktalarındaki su deposuna suyu aktararak ondan sonra şehir şebekesine dağıtımını bir proje olarak entegre bir proje olarak düşünürsek, bu kullandığımız malzemeler, kullanılan borular, işte pompalar, özellikle şebekede kullandığımız vanalar, bunların hepsi frekans konvektörlü, otomasyonlu bir SCADA sistemine bağlı olarak çalışarak bir şebekede veya ishale hattındaki su kayıp kaçaklarını önemli ölçüde önlemektedir. Dolayısıyla bir kasabaya eğer biz saniyede 200 litre su veriyorsak ama tüketimde abonelerin saatleriyle karşılaştırdığımız zaman kayıtlı fatura eğer 100 litreye düşmüşse demek ki bunun yarısı kayıp demektir. Bu kayıp kaçağı önlemek için işte şebeke sistemlerinde küçük izole bölgeler oluşturuyoruz. Bu izole bölgelerde bölgelerin baş noktalarına debimetreler, manometreler koyarak bu izole bölgelerdeki tüketimi SCADA merkezimizde izleyerek bir kayıp varsa, bir kaçak varsa, bir basınç kaybı varsa bunları tespit ediyoruz. Dolayısıyla geleneksel sistemden ziyade günümüzde işte hidrolik modelleme dediğimiz şebeke çözümleri yaparak ciddi miktarda su kaybının ve kaçak kullanımın önüne geçiyoruz. Dolayısıyla bir örnekte baktığımız zaman büyükşehir belediyelerinin su kanal idarelerinde 2005 yılında %60, %50'ye varan su kayıp kaçakları günümüzde %25 seviyesine düşürülmüş durumda. Bu da dolayısıyla ciddi miktarda hem enerji tasarrufu sağlıyor hem su kaynaklarının düşünün iklim değişikliğinde ortaya çıkan işte dengesiz hava olayları nedeniyle su kaynaklarında da ciddi azalmalar yaşanmakta. Dolayısıyla biz su kaynaklarını da daha kontrollü kullanmasını sağlamış oluyoruz bu durumda. İçme suyu tesislerinden diğer bir sektöre geçecek olursak, atık su arıtma tesisleri özellikle çevre açısından çok önemli olan, işte alıcı ortamlara daha kaliteli su bırakmak için, işte içme suyunda tükettiğimiz suların kullanıldıktan sonra, atık suya dönüştükten sonra bunların arıtılarak tekrar doğaya kullanılabilir bir halde vermemiz için arıtma tesisleri yapıyoruz. Bu arıtma tesislerini yaparken arıtma tesislerinde öncelikle enerjinin en çok harcandığı noktalar işte terfi merkezlerindeki pompa sistemleri, havalandırma havuzlarındaki difüzörlere basılan, blowerlar aracıyla basılan havayla ilgili kayıplar, bir de elde edilen açığa çıkan arıtma çamurlarının arıtması sırasında veya susuzlaştırılması veya kurutulması sırasında ciddi enerjiler harcanmaktadır. Dolayısıyla bu bölümlerde kullanılan pompalarımız, işte difüzörler, blowerlar ve borular daha kontrollü, işte dediğimiz gibi frekans konvektörlü çalışılabilir sistemler kurulunca ciddi bir enerji tasarrufu sağlamaktadır. Bunlar da işte bilindiği üzere karbon ayak izine ciddi katkı sağlamakta. İşte atık su çamurlarını iyi kuruttuğumuz zaman ortaya çıkan atık su çamurları normalde bir yerde depolanması gerekiyor. Dolayısıyla bu da bir ciddi bir kütle oluşturuyor. Biz bir solar kurutma sistemiyle çamuru kurutarak kütlesini %10'a varan oranda azaltabiliyoruz. Dolayısıyla bunları da depolama sorunu yaşanmamış oluyor. Bu durumda aynı zamanda bu elde ettiğimiz kurutulmuş çamur artık toprak şekline dönüştüğü için bunu uygunsa tarımda gübre olarak da kullanabiliyoruz veya yakıt olarak da kullanılabiliyor. İşte çimento tesislerinde veya değişik sanayi tesislerinde yakıt olarak da kullanılabiliyor. Elde ettiğimiz toz diyelim, yani artık çamur toza dönüşüyor. Burada en önemlisi bir de arıtılmış suyun alıcı ortama verilebilir ya da o bölgedeki ihtiyaçlara göre sulama suyunda kullanılmak üzere veya işte sanayide soğutma suyu veya değişik amaçlarla kullanılması amacıyla açığa çıkan arıtılmış suyu da yine UV veya işte filtrasyonla, dezenfekteyle daha temiz hale getirilerek geri kullanıma sağlanıyor. Dolayısıyla işte bizim Çevre Şehircilik ve İklim Değişikliği Bakanlığımız da yerel yönetimlerin kurmuş olduğu arıtma tesislerini eğer düzenli çalıştırıp hatta geri dönüşümde de arıtılmış suyu kullanılması halinde enerji maliyetinin %100'ünü bakanlığımız hibe olarak karşılamakta. Dolayısıyla bu durumda da belediyelerimiz, yerel yönetimlerimiz arıtma tesislerini daha işletiyorlar. Yani işletimini sağlıyorlar. Dolayısıyla daha efektif hale geliyor. Son olarak yine yaptığımız tesisler, bunların hepsi yerel yönetimlerin ihtiyaçları aslında. En sonunda katı atık tesislerini ele alacak olursak, tabii Türkiye'de bölgesel olarak katı atık tesisleri de inşa ediyoruz. Bunları yaparken işte ayrıştırma yapısı var, kompost ünitesi var, bir de depolama ünitesi var. Burada ayrıştırma ünitesi gerçekten de yüksek teknoloji kullanılıyor. Optik okuyucular aracılığıyla işte oradaki inorganik katılarla organik katılar ayrıştırılıyor. Buradaki ekipmanların, enerji verimliliği olan ekipmanların kullanılması çok önem arz ediyor. Ayrıca komposta ayırdığımız malzemenin kurutulması için de orada bir enerji sarf ediliyor. Ama orada kompostla elde ettiğimiz kütleyi de azalttığımız zaman onları hem depolamamız kolaylaşıyor. Ayrıca buradan elde edilen malzeme enerji üretiminde de kullanılabiliyor. Önce biyogaz elde ederek sonra elektrik enerjisine de dönüştürülebiliyor. Ayrıca son olarak da yine depolama tesisine de bırakılan son atıklardan da yine gaz da elde etmek mümkün. Gaz elde edildikten sonra bunda enerjiye dönüştürülebiliyor. Bu tür tesisleri yapıyoruz. Yaparken bunlara dikkat ediyoruz ve en sonunda elde edilen süzüntü suyu oluyor. Tabii depolama havuzlarının altında çok yoğun kirliliği olan bir su o açığa çıkıyor. Bu suyu da yine arıtma tesisleri yaparak bunların da yine doğaya daha temiz bir çıktı olarak bırakılıyor. Bu şekilde hem ülkemize dolaylı olarak da tüm dünyaya bu tür işleri yaparken dünya hepimizin, geleceğimizin insan sağlığı için, gelecek nesillerin sağlıklı yaşayabilmesi için bu tür tesisler çok önem arz etmekte. Dolayısıyla biz de böyle hayırlı bir hizmet yapıyoruz ülkemize. Beni dinlediğiniz için teşekkür ediyorum. Bu kadar benim sunumum.
Sayın Topçu'ya teşekkür ediyoruz. Merkezi olarak yapılan yatırımlar, belediyelere devredilen ya da belediyelerin yapması için finansman kaynağı sağlanması çok değerli konular. Enerji verimliliği yönünde de çok değerli adımlar. Teşekkür ediyoruz. Son konuğumuz Sayın Elif Pınar Polat. Son konuğumuzdan sonra varsa sorularınızı da konuklarımıza yöneltebileceğiniz alacağız. Sayın Elif Pınar Polat, İklim Değişikliği Başkanlığı'nda uzman olarak görev yapmakta ve 2014 yılından itibaren de Birleşmiş Milletler İklim Değişikliği Çerçeve Sözleşmesi Türkiye müzakereleri heyetinde görev alan bir kişi. Bizim yaptığımız tüm çalışmaların iklim değişikliğine olan etkilerini de araştıran bir başkanlıktır aynı zamanda. Türkiye'de binaların 2. Ulusal Katkı Beyanı'ndaki yerini ve bu sürecin kentsel dönüşümle ilişkisini bizlere aktaracak Sayın Polat. Paylaşacağınız bilgiler için şimdiden teşekkür ediyorum. Söz size bırakıyorum.
Teşekkür ederim Sayın Genel Müdürüm. Değerli katılımcılar hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Sayın Genel Müdürümüzün de bahsettiği gibi kendilerinin en önemli sektörlerden biri olan binalar sektörlerindeki çabalarına bizleri de dahil ettikleri için kendilerine teşekkür ediyorum. Kendi yaptıkları tüm yönetmelikler, tüm çabaların çıktıları sonucunda iklim değişikliği başkanlığı olarak azaltım hedefimize katkıda bulunarak daha iddialı, daha güçlü azaltım hedeflerimizle uluslararası kamuoyuyla paylaşıyoruz. Genel olarak iklim değişikliğinden bahsedecek olursam, küresel iklim değişikliğinin olumsuz etkilerinden en çok etkilenen bölgede bulunuyoruz ve şu anda 2024 yılı itibariyle toplam sera gazı emisyonlarımız 57,7 milyar karbondioksit eşdeğeri seviyesine ulaşmıştır. Binalar sektörü küresel sera gazı emisyonlarının azaltılmasında ülkemiz için önemli bir fırsat sunmaktadır. Küresel enerji tüketiminin ve sera gazı emisyonlarının yaklaşık 1/3'ünden sorumlu olan bu sektör aynı zamanda şehirlerimizin dayanıklılığı ve yaşam kalitemizi kilit öneme sahiptir. Binalar bilindiği üzere artık yalnızca barınma ihtiyaçlarımızı karşılayan yapılar olmaktan çıktı. Ekonomik, sosyal ve çevresel etkileriyle de şehirlerimizin kimliğini, yaşam kalitemizi ve geleceğimizi şekillendiren en önemli unsurlardan biri haline gelmiştir. Bu önemli sektörün aslında en büyük temsilcisi Sayın Genel Müdürümüz ve ekibi. Bizler de sürecin emisyon kısmı ve sera gazı iklim değişikliği ile etkili sürecinde dahil oluyoruz ve bunun için de kendilerine tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. 2030 seviyesinden başlayacak olursak Türkiye olarak neredeyse sıfır emisyonlu ve iklim dayanıklı binaların yeni normal haline gelmesi vizyonunu taşıyan bir iklim değişikliği yaklaşımına sahibiz ve bunu bu yüzyılın en kritik dönüm çağrılarından biri olarak görüyoruz. Sayın katılımcılar, Türkiye olarak bilindiği üzere 2053 yılına kadar net sıfır emisyon hedefine ulaşma hedefimiz bulunmakta. Bu hedef doğrultusunda hazırladığımız uzun dönemli iklim değişikliği stratejimiz Birleşmiş Milletler'e sunuldu. Üzerine iklim değişikliği ile ilgili sera gazı azaltım politikaları çalışmalarımızı tamamladık ve son olarak COP30 öncesi ikinci ulusal katkı beyanımızı sunduk. İkinci ulusal katkı beyanımız ile birlikte toplamda 643 milyon ton karbondioksit eşdeğerini azaltmayı hedefliyoruz. Bu doğrultuda spesifik olarak enerji ve sera gazı emisyonlarının azaltımındaki kilit sektörümüz binalarla ilgili süreçte ise sadece enerji verimliliğini dahil etmiyoruz. Sektörel politikalarımıza teknoloji, finansman, adil geçiş ve kapasite geliştirme unsurlarını da ekliyoruz. Türkiye olarak şu anda yaklaşık 16 milyon mevcut binamız, 25 milyon hanemiz bulunmaktadır. Her yıl stoğa yaklaşık 100 bin yeni bina eklenmektedir. Bu binaların ülkemizin toplam enerji tüketiminin 1/3'ini ve sera gazı emisyonlarımızın ise %11.5'ini oluşturduğunu biliyoruz. Dolayısıyla binalar enerji verimliliği ve dönüşümde yalnızca çevresel olarak değil, aynı zamanda ekonomik ve sosyal bir zorunluluk haline gelmiştir. İkinci ulusal katkı beyanımızla birlikte neredeyse sıfır enerji bina standartlarının uygulanması yönünde güçlü bir politika çerçevesi oluşturulmuştur. Bu politikalar ile birlikte 2035 yılı için bina sektöründe %37 emisyon azaltımı öngörülmektedir. Binalar özelinde azaltım stratejilerimize örnekler vermek istiyorum spesifik olarak. 2025 yılı için 2000 metrekare ve üzeri kullanım alanına sahip yeni binaların neredeyse sıfır enerji bina standartına uygun olarak yapılması sağlanacak. 2030 yılı için kamu binalarında %30 enerji tasarrufu sağlanacak. 2033 yılı için enerji kimlik belgesi A sınıfı olması sağlanacak tüm yeni binalarımızda. 2043 yılı için tüm yeni binalarımız net sıfır operasyonel karbon bina olarak yapılacak ve 2053 yılı için hem Türkiye olarak net sıfır hedefimiz hem de bina sektörü emisyonlarını sıfıra yaklaştıracağız. Bu dönüşüm noktasında total olarak tüm emisyon hedeflerimizi gerçekleştirdiğimizi ve ilgili genel müdürlüğümüzün politikalarıyla birlikte 30 yılda yaklaşık 2 milyar ton karbondioksit eşdeğeri emisyonun önlenmesi beklenmektedir. Bu rakamlar gerçekten çok önemli. Hem ülkemizin hem de globaldeki iklim değişikliği mücadelelerine fazlasıyla katkı sağlayacak. Ayrıca Türkiye olarak dijitalleşmeye de çok önem veriyoruz. Dijitalleşmenin hem verimliliği arttırmakta hem de bina sektörü genelinde emisyonların azaltımına katkı sağladığını biliyoruz. Yine ilgili genel müdürlüğümüz ve sayın genel müdürümüzün ekibiyle birlikte süreçlerimizi devam ettiriyoruz. Son olarak Türkiye'nin 2053 yılı net sıfır hedefine giden süreçte enerji verimliliği, yenilenebilir enerji entegrasyonu, dijitalleşme ve sürdürülebilir tasarım gibi alanlarda önemli ilerlemeler kaydediyoruz. Çabalarımızı devam ettireceğiz ve hem geleceğimiz için hem toplum için daha güçlü, daha ambitious bir azaltım hedefiyle çalışmalarımıza devam edeceğiz. Çok teşekkür ederim. Teşekkürler Genel Müdürüm.
Sayın Polat'a çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sizin sunumunuza bir katkı olarak şunu da ifade etmek istiyorum saygıdeğer katılımcılar. Döngüsel ekonomi açısından fayda sağlayacak, aynı zamanda doğa dostu, çevreyle dost yapılaşmanın ölçülmesindeki en önemli yollardan birisi de yeşil bina sertifikasına sahip olmasıdır. Türkiye'de kullanılan yeşil bina sertifikasının uyumluluk ve enerji verimliliği noktasında istatistiksel olarak yapılan çalışmalarda çok başarılı olduğu görülmüştür. Çok kısa süre içerisinde uluslararası muadilleriyle boy ölçüşecek, en az onlar kadar önemli ve özel katkılar sunacak Yes Int, yani uluslararası yeşil bina sertifikamızda hayata geçilecek. Bunu da takip etmenizi tavsiye ederim. Konuklarımıza sorular varsa alabiliriz. Bir 10 dakika kadar da süremiz var. Soru sormak isteyen konuklarımız var mı? O zaman onlar adına ben bir soru sormak isterim. Sayın Lee'ye, sürdürülebilir ve döngüsel kamu alımları yoluyla sıfıra yakın emisyonlu yapılı çevre hedefini destekleyen küresel girişimlere katılımı, iklim eyleminin güçlendirilmesi, teknik kapasitenin artırılması ve uluslararası finansman olanaklarına erişim sizce ne tür avantajlar sunmakta? Çok kısa şekilde alabilir miyiz?
Because the translation was not very clear for me, so the question is about it's about the ICBC. Okay, thank you. Just yes, as I just introduced, ICBC, is the first high-level political forum dedicated to buildings and climate, now uniting over 60 countries to translate global ambition into country-level action. Rooted in the Declaration de Charlotte, ICBC provides a framework for coordinated government action and on decarbonizing and climate-proofing the built environment. So it connects governments to an extensive body of global knowledge, including policy guidance, relevant norms, cutting-edge technical insights, and case studies to invite them to adopt the key strategic products supporting the national commitments. So ICBC countries have committed to action through national roadmaps, stronger building codes, new financing solutions, low carbon materials, and better coordination across government. With ICBC's first flagship outcome, the Berlin Call for Action for Sustainable and Affordable Housing developed under the leadership of Troika, France, Brazil, Kenya, together with several other key products and deliverables being acknowledged by countries today. The ICBC continues to serve as a high-level political driver to make the built environment a cornerstone of climate resilience, social equity, and sustainable development. So, by endorsing the global framework for action, member states may position their country as a global leader in sustainable transformation of the built environment. Assess information about actions and solutions being implemented by other member states and stakeholders globally, benefit from technical support such as capacity building tools and pilot products, and build a national momentum to strengthen collaboration across governments and markets. Thank you.
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Soru var mı? Tekrar soruyorum. Peki, soru olmadığını görüyorum. Sağdan gelen deneyimler, politika önerileri ve model yaklaşımlarıyla, istatistiksel bilgileriyle panelistlerimize teşekkür ediyorum. Sunumlarınız bizim için ufuk açıcı oldu. Tekrar teşekkür ediyorum. Bizi sabırla dinlediğiniz için tüm değerli dinleyicilere, katılımcılara da teşekkürlerimi, saygılarımı sunuyorum.